Ooh, exciting. I've just got home and a package was in the letterbox and my first lot of vanilla has arrived. And this one here is my cheapy $35, I'm trying to remember how many ounces it was. I think it was 4 ounces of vanilla from Nagini Naturals. And this was one of the places that was recommended to me when I did my vanilla extract video recently. So looking forward to opening this up and seeing what these beans are like. G'day, it's Rachel here from Bush Edge Homesteading Australia, and I just wanted to thank you guys for all those suggestions on where to get vanilla beans that you made to me after that recent vanilla extract video. I just got some more beans in the mail, which I'm pretty excited about, and in this video I'm going to show you how I've turned them into 2 different flavours of extract this time, one with spiced rum and one with some vodka. Alrighty, let's open this one up and have a bit of a look at what these vanilla beans are like. There we go. So there's our vanilla beans. And actually it's 100 grams that I got here. So a bit of a look at a different angle. Here we go. So ingredients, vanilla beans, 100 grams from July 2023, expiry July 2026. Now, they're obviously all packaged up really well. Now I have heard that when I get my beans that I need to be putting these straight into the alcohol. Even if I'm not going to be making vanilla extracts straight away, that, you know, that's the way that you want to preserve them, and then you can even pull them out and turn them into vanilla paste and things like that. But I must admit, I don't have time tonight after work, so what I'm going to do is just kind of pop those aside, and I'm sure they will be fine until the weekend. And then we'll get them into some alcohol together. But again, that bag there is 100 grams. It cost $35 getting those online, and that was delivered as well, which is pretty good. And what's that? 100 grams is about 3.5 ounces. That's a reasonable amount of vanilla bean to start making up a bit more vanilla extract. So looking forward to catching up with you again on the weekend to do that. That means I can now get my vanilla beans into some alcohol. Now, I haven't opened these up yet, and I really am quite interested to see what they smell like and what the texture's like compared to the other ones I've been using once I get stuck into these. So let's snip it open and let's have a bit of a look inside. All right. Still a couple in there. Pull those out too. There's one of our beans. And, oh, you can see, look, a lot of the oils are coming off of the bean. And that's definitely not something I've had happen with ones that I've bought in the past. There's a lot more flecks, and oh my goodness, there is an amazing smell coming off of these. Wow. They are really nice beans. So considering that was $35 for all of those delivered, they are really good looking beans. Wow, super happy with that. So again, that was like 100 grams of beans. And I think that was a really good way to get it from, you know, someone here in Australia. They also arrived really quick. So that was also one of the bonuses of purchasing from someone here in Oz. They aren't beans that were grown in Australia though, so they have been imported, but obviously been kind of packaged up with love and looked after as well. So I'm really happy with those. Alrighty, what I need to do though is I need to put these in some alcohol. And you know, from everything that I've kind of seen, if you get particularly nice fresh beans like this, you do want to try and get them into some alcohol And of course, that's going to start your extract straight away, which is a bonus, but it also is going to kind of preserve those beans. And that doesn't mean that you can't use it for something else at a later time. Like if you wanted to pull these out and, kind of scrape out the seeds inside for baking, you can do that and then kind of pop it back in. And if you want to do that sort of thing, you're probably actually better off using a wider mouth jar like this as compared to the bottles that I showed you in my last video. Now, I want to do 2 different flavors today. So last time I kind of showed you just doing it with vodka, throwing it in the bottle and just kind of letting it steep over time. And that honestly is the absolute easiest way of doing this. Done that way for many, many years. But this way is also really easy and a good way to get a couple of different flavors if you want to see what flavors you like. I think I mentioned last time you can do it with things like rum as well. And that's actually what we're going to do today. So this one here is a spiced rum. And that's going to impart some additional flavors into our vanilla, as well as obviously just the vanilla flavor. And then we're going to use the vodka as well. And I find if you use just vodka, you really just get that vanilla coming through. So it really depends on the flavors that you want and you prefer. And again, this is one of those awesome things. When you make stuff at home, you can play around and you can find what works for you and what's to your taste and to your family's taste. All right, so I'm going to use some of our beautiful flavours jars today. So these are the ones with the stainless steel lids, so I'm not worried about any corrosion or anything like that with the lid from the alcohol. And yeah, I do have the rubbers on that you use when you do canning, and that's because I do want it to be nice and airtight. If you had like an old one, you'd be able to use an old one. I didn't have any old ones, so I've used one of the new ones, which is probably a blasphemous thing to do, to waste one of the canning seals, but yeah, for the vanilla extract, it's going to be worth it. Alrighty, so let's put this one aside and let's do this one first. So what I'm going to do is pull apart some of these beans, and I have been doing a lot of reading of the amazing tips that you guys have given me since sharing that other video, because what I've always done to speed up the extracts is I've always split my beans. So normally I kind of split down the middle, and then I pop my beans into the jar or the bottle and then kind of put the alcohol in. And that is the absolute quickest way to extract. So if you want a quick extract, something around kind of that 6 months or, 8 months was my last batch, that's going to impart kind of the best flavor over that period of time. But if you can leave it for longer, you're still going to get the flavor with the beans. And what people have kind of shared with me is that by leaving them whole like this, you get less of kind of the seeds going into your extract, which for my baking and stuff I actually normally like, so that's not a fuss. But if you leave the beans whole like this, what you can then do is kind of pull them out of the jar and split them when you need them for the baking. Just kind of split them open, pull out those seeds, and then use that in the baking, and then pop the pods back in your jar. So that sounded like a pretty cool idea to me. So that's what I'm going to do today with this batch. So guys, I am always learning as well from you guys. So yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to share your tips and tricks. So I'm going to put probably about half of our beans in this one. Gosh, look at that. They're so oily. Look at the colour that's coming off on my fingers. And I really wish you guys could smell this room. It smells absolutely incredible. All right, let's pop them in. I'm going to poke them down a bit because, as I mentioned in my last video, you do want to make sure when you're making your vanilla extracts that you do have all your vanilla beans underneath the surface. You don't want any molding or anything happening. And the other thing is you actually want the alcohol all the way around your beans so that you are actually getting the extraction, all those amazing oils into your alcohol liquid. A couple of these are poking up a fair bit. Anyway, now I'm, as always, keeping it a little bit loose in the kitchen. When it comes to things like this, it's okay. That's a little different when I'm doing things like canning, but for stuff like this, I'm happy just to kind of eyeball that that's about half, and I'll pop the other half in the other jar in a second. So now that I've got all of those vanilla beans in there, all I want to do next is add in the alcohol. So this one here, as I said, we've got our spiced rum Don't need to use this brand, whatever you can get your hands on. Any rum can work. Again, it really is kind of coming down to your personal taste. Now, I'm not convinced I'm going to have enough here. So what we might actually end up with is a bit of a half and half. So this one here, I have nowhere near enough. But that's okay, because that is going to impart still a bit of a different flavour with this one. What I'll do is probably just make some notes on, the fact that it was probably about a third of the spiced rum with this one. And I'm just going to top this one up with the vodka. Now, if I really cared that much about it being just totally the spiced rum, I'd just go to the shops and I'd buy some more. Now, I can see I've got a couple of the beans poking up here, and I really don't want that. So I am going to see if I can poke them down a bit. Ideally, I think with these beans, I probably would have had a slightly taller jar, but I didn't want to use one of my huge ones. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the strength looking for. With this one here, I've probably got about, what would it be? 1 3/4 ounces, which to this amount of liquid, I think is about, like kind of a regular strength. And I have learned some terminology, a single fold, I think that's kind of called. I think it's just over that amount that they would call kind of the single fold. So I'll pop that lid on. Now with the Fowlers, the lid doesn't kind of stay on without this little doohickey, which is our clip, which is now on. And that's our first one done. Now let's get the vanilla in our second. So essentially all I'm going to do is the same thing again. I've got my beautiful vanilla beans. Going to pop those in the jar. You probably notice the one thing I am doing, even though I'm not splitting them, I am kind of pulling them apart. Again, it's always about kind of maximizing that surface area between whatever it is that you're trying to infuse and your alcohol. So I definitely want to pull them all apart, which they all seem to be nicely pulled apart. Get that out the way and push all those down like we did with the other one. And then what we're going to do is just fill that up. But this time we're going to fill it up with our vodka. And again, I just want to pour that all the way up to the top. Will I have enough? Will I? Oh, of course not. All right, give me a second and we're going to get a bit of a top up. Alrighty, I'm back with a little bit more. So now I can top that off right up to the top. So again, I want to make sure they are well submerged. And the lid goes on. And then our clip's going to go on to hold that on. And that's just the clips that we use when we're doing kind of canning. And there we go. That's that one all filled up too. And from here, it's really now just a matter of having patience. As with all vanilla extracts, the longer you can leave this, the better. Now, because I haven't split the beans on these ones, I probably want to leave it a bit longer than I do the batches when I cut them. So when I cut them, I normally only leave it about 6 months or so. This time around though, I do want to leave it a bit longer because we haven't split them. I'm probably going to leave it for the next year, and I'm going to try and forget about this completely. And yeah, after about a year, I'll open them up, have a bit of a look and see how they're going. And if they look like they're ready, smell like they're ready, that'll be the time that I really get stuck in and start using the next batch of vanilla essence. So if you can stick with me for the next year, we'll open these up together in about a year's time. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with you then. Now, I do have some more vanilla coming in the mail because I did have another company also suggested to me, and I'm actually really excited to share this one with you as well. And that is a company called Indri, and they have an amazing Facebook group. There is such incredible resources on there, and there is also this kind of amazing community of people helping each other and giving these incredible ideas on things that can be done with vanilla. So I actually placed an order through them. Now, their beans come from I think it's from America.
Well, actually they ship out of America, but they get beans from all over the world, and they get lots of different types of beans, and it's actually been really exciting reading about all the different ones that they have. So I'm waiting for the order to come through at the moment, and when that one arrives, I'm looking forward to opening that one up with you as well, and just, yeah, seeing what those beans are like as compared to the ones that we've had today. But I can say these ones today for 35 bucks and delivered as quickly as they were, like I think it was within probably about a week and a half of ordering them. Yeah, I am absolutely ecstatic with the quality that they were. And I've got, oh my goodness, this amazing smell on my fingers still left over. I don't think I'm going to want to do anything in the garden for a while, so I can keep this beautiful aroma on my hands for a little while. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. Had a great time opening these up with you, turning them into a yummy vanilla extract, even though I'm going to have to be patient and wait a year. But yeah, hope you join me when I go to open them up then. Thanks again for joining, and catch you later.